Now, the big question, how do you convert clicks to customers? Our next speaker is going to explain exactly how you do that. Laura Moxham has multiple awards under her belt, earning the prestigious accolades of being both a Google Premier Partner and in the top 3% of agencies. She has spoken at many SSA UK events and webinars, so of course some of you may have heard her speak before, but please give a big round of applause to Laura Moxham.
Thank you. Woo. Bit of a Marilyn Monroe episode there. Good afternoon, or good morning, everybody. So we're talking today about converting from clicks to customers. Now, this whole kind of Google Ads journey it needs some finesse. It needs some careful attention. So how better to kick off today's session today with a little bit of an explosion into the audience here. So I'm just going to invite Megan into the, whoop. Invite Megan in. So Megan's in my team. Say a quick hello to Megan, my beautiful assistant. There we go. So, yes, I thought I would kick off today with a bit of fun, why not? And so I'm going to launch a little gift into the audience. Oh, no. And hopefully this will... Hey! Just pass that over to you. The things we do. Right, so there on your t-shirt is a free guide on how to get more customers out of your Google Ads. So what we can do is we can review your account and provide you a lot of guidance and help and tips. And that's what I'm going to be sharing today with you about how to be able to get more customers out of your Google Ads. So I'd like to just explain a little story, if I may, to begin with. So I don't know if you know the lovely Hazel and Tim Edwards, because they entered the stage here last night, the fantastic duo there. We did a Google Ads review like you have on your t-shirt there for Hazel and Tim many years ago, and looked at their account and identified quite a few areas of improvement that we've done to their Google Ads. They were previously working with another agency. So we identified some areas that could be improved and implemented those, and it had a great effect, along with other marketing that they were doing, but it had a great effect on the business. And as part of that, their revenue grew 75%, and the business, as you probably know if you know Hazel and Tim, it's absolutely smashing it and doing a great job. So with that journey of helping them with their Google Ads, Hazel then kindly introduced me to the Self-Storage Association, because we worked just with Hazel and Tim in self-storage. And so I was introduced to Rennie to be able to share, because the association is collaborative. It's all about sharing knowledge, sharing insights. You guys are like a big family. Really, really great atmosphere. And so because of that, we then joined the SSA as a preferred supplier. And now, sort of fast forward now, we've been working with the Self-Storage Association for 18 months. And during that time, we've generated 15,000 storage leads through Google Ads. So what I wanted to do today was to be able to share with you the practices, the strategies, the pitfalls that we have been able to find out from this vast amount of data. So that's what I'm going to be doing, sharing this insight, because it's a competitive landscape. We've gone through quarter one. We're now into quarter two. We've then got the second half of the year. So my job to help you guys is to find ways that you can get more sales leads and inquiries from your Google Ads. So I'm hoping that you can take some tips away, if you're doing Google Ads yourselves, take some tips away that you can implement into your own setup and get better outcomes, because that's what the Self-Storage Association is all about. It's about sharing and it's about providing guidance. So buckle up and let's have a look at some of these, some of my secrets. But really what I'm a data, I'm a numbers lady. And so what we need to be doing is looking at some of these numbers and let those do the talking. It's not all about theory, it's not all about textbook stuff. What we're sharing with you is what we've learned from all of these numbers. So over the last 12 months, we've represented and spent Google Ads money on £250,000, generating 74,000 clicks and 15,000 leads. You know, that is a vast amount of data and a lot that we can share with you. So it's very much evidence-based on strategies that are working, and we have, you know, information that I can share with you this morning. So out of those 15,000 leads, you know, if you look at the estimated, say, 20% conversion rate, that's £4.5 million that have been generated in terms of sales on the work that we're doing with self-storage businesses. So that's really, really great to be able to have the privilege to share that information with you. And like I say, I really hope that you can take something away that you can implement, and it will help guide you on your best journey to be able to gather more sales leads and inquiries for your business and help to achieve your goals. So what are we going to learn this morning? So we're going to learn these 10 things, and just to give you a little bit of a taster on what's to come. So I'm going to share with you why Google actually isn't helping your business right now and what you can do to counter that. We're looking at potentially areas that you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm getting out of area inquiries. Why is that? Let's stop that. I'm going to be looking at how we can double your business, double your inquiries and be able to get that for you for free. So there's these strategies that we're going to be looking at, and some additional ones too. But the whole point is, how can we help you grow your business with more sales leads and inquiries? So who is YBA? So I own a Google Ads agency, and we've got a team of people within the company. They are absolutely fantastic and very, very well versed in Google Ads. Obviously, we just focus on Google Ads. We're a top 3% partner for Google, which is based on the level of ad spend that we have and the results that we get. You know, anybody can become a Google partner, but to become a Google Premier partner is a very proud place to have, and a great accolade. So in terms of self-storage, the reason I'm able to stand here and share this information with you is the volume of data that we have gathered over this period of time. So 75,000 clicks and 15,000 leads in 12 months, which is really, really valuable and exceptionally helpful, hopefully, for your business. And so let's get into what these 10 secrets are. Now, the first one might surprise you. Something that may surprise you is Google is actually not your best friend. It's not there to help your business. Don't get me wrong, Google Ads as a platform and what it can do is fantastic. You know, throughout this morning's session, I'm going to be sharing with you the strategies, but also examples of clients that we work with to bring to life what we're saying. So, the first issue to be aware of is that Google Ads is not your friend. What happens is, in the app, in the platform, it provides you recommendations, it emails you, it may even call you. You know, you'll be going, oh, Google Ads is on the phone. Well, it's not your friend. It's not your friend because it doesn't understand your individual business goals. It's there as a platform to help you gather more sales leads and inquiries, but with the different things that you can do, which are absolutely unended, it doesn't know your goals, it doesn't understand your business. So it's up to you as an advertiser to look at it and go, yeah, that's good, we'll go with that one. That one's not so good. So we've done some testing, and actually the recommendations that come up in the platform from doing the testing was actually that it created a 20% deficit in the outcome. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't understand your business and what you want to be doing. They have targets themselves. They are not thinking necessarily about your business. So kind of imagine it as a roulette table, and Google is the table. So it wants to bring as many people to the table as possible, because the more people that it brings, the more money that goes in, but actually the table still wins. So to give you an example that, just looking at Birmingham alone, I have a system so that we can find out exactly what advertisers are in the auction. And with Birmingham alone, you've got 17 advertisers. So that's not just the maps, it's not the organic rankings, it's those people vying for that situation, that top position. And there's only 4 spots. It changes all the time with the algorithms, but we're all kind of vying. So Google is happy with this. It wants to make sure that everybody has an option to be able to be seen as an advertiser. So that's the first thing. But don't get me wrong, Google Ads is amazing. You know, I've got an agency that has been running Google Ads for 10 years. I'm just saying, word of caution, if they're calling you, if they're being in contact, think about how it impacts your business and your own personal goals. Lesson number 2, and this kind of relates to number 1 actually, that just really be careful. When we're auditing people's accounts, we see these things come up time and time again. Now, what happens is when you create a new account or a new campaign, there are default settings in there. Now, these default settings aren't necessarily in your best interest. So it allows Google, again, to just kind of broadly, allow you to spend more money, and it doesn't keep it as quite as targeted and as refined as you need for your business. So the first one, just to give you an example, a couple of examples here of default settings when you're creating new campaigns. The first one is that it will automatically create the campaign with keywords. So just to kind of roll back a bit, a keyword is what you're saying to Google you want to be found for. When somebody types that into Google, then your ads should be found. Now, to sort of put more insult to the injury, when you select the keyword, you then select a match type. And broad match is one that is automatically created when you're now creating campaigns. It will automatically set this up. Now, this kind of allows Google to put your ads in front of who it feels is relevant. And so, again, that's not necessarily in your best interest. The best way to start out on the match types is something slightly different. I'll talk about that in a moment. So it is automatically setting them up as broad match types. You don't want to do that to start off with. You just want to be a little bit more controlled. And the second default setting there, another little sneaky one, is that it's saying that the ads are going to be shown to people who are interested in or in your area, and that's recommended. But what we need to be doing, is going with the second one, which is where you can control it, where it's people are actually in that location, not just showing an interest in that location. So this is the bit where I was saying earlier that you can get inquiries out of area. We want to eliminate that as much as possible. So those are a couple of the sneaky defaults that come through, and be aware of those when you're starting a new campaign. Now, the next, number 3, is about finding a right match type. And I mentioned this. There's lots about Google Ads, and I try to explain it in a way that makes sense when you're not actually in an account the whole time. So you have a keyword, and then you select the match type that you have. Now, the match type here we need to be thinking about what is right for your business. There's 3 main match types. Now, the best kind of match type to be starting off with is phrase match and also exact match. So phrase match means that there's little sort of inverted commas around the word, and something can be put before or after it. So you have more control than a broad match type. Or the other element is an exact match, where there's a square brackets around that keyword, and broadly that is what's shown in when somebody types that keyword in. However, as Google is advancing and changing, and exact match doesn't actually mean exact match. There's a slight variant to it. So from the data that we analysed, even from the exact match keyword, it's still triggering some of these examples here. And then from the data analysis that we did, there's nearly 750 other types of keywords. So it's about getting this refined. You've really got to keep on top of what is happening here with Google Ads. So you need to choose your keyword match types deliberately, and this is another element that people are falling foul of. To give you an example of keywords and selecting the right kind of keywords, we work with Monstore Self-Storage, and they'd been doing it in-house. There was nothing wrong with their Google Ads. They were getting, a good amount of leads. But they were thinking, well, could this potentially be done a little bit better? Are we missing points here? Is there something else that we should be looking at? So one of the key elements here was the keyword match types that were being used. So they were using these broader match types. So we refined that down. We used phrase match. We used exact match as well. It all sounds very boring, I know, but it's making these changes that really make a good outcome, as you'll see here. So within the first 3 months, we were increasing the volume of leads. The quality of leads came up as well because it was more specific and more refined. And so those adjustments really, really helped to gather him more sales leads and inquiries. So that just gives you an example of, by making these changes to the keywords, it can get a much better outcome. So getting you more customers from these clicks and getting them to be better for your business. Now, as we talk about keywords, as you're all kind of really, really looking forward to some lunch, let's get going again. Now, the thing with keywords is we need to be putting in negative keywords. So if you imagine it, this is like a gatekeeper for your ads. We need to be regularly putting in keywords on a basis that is relative to how much you're spending. Putting in negative keywords to stop your ads being shown for the wrong things. To give you a very silly example, maybe the word cheap or the word jobs, something like that. So it means that if somebody's looking for cheap self-storage, which you probably don't want to be found for, you'd want to put cheap in as a negative. So it's a regular occurrence. If you're managing it, then this is what needs to be done on a regular basis. But again, looking at lots of accounts now, auditing the accounts, nearly 90% of the accounts don't have account-wide negatives. They've got some negatives in there. It's not that they're not doing it, but it's something that should be done over the whole account so that you've got that aggregation of data across the different campaigns. Number 5 is about location. Now, we talked about this yesterday, actually, in one of the sessions. But location is really, really crucial for somebody that is searching, not only for the location of your facility, but actually thinking about the person that is coming to look for self-storage in their town. So most people think, okay, so we're going to just do ads around 10 miles radius of where our location is. It's a little bit more sophisticated than that, because if you look at 10 miles radius, you're going to find lots of other self-storage owners potentially. So we need to be thinking, how can we potentially refine that? Is there sort of pockets that you can advertise in? Thinking about where that person drives, and you'll know your location. Where are they coming from? Where are they driving past? Who are they driving past? You know, what are my competitors saying? What are they standing for? What is their offer? And I'm really thinking about that person that's looking and understanding what are the reasons that you are better. Are you cheaper? Are you faster? Are you, next to Starbucks? What is it that you do differently? And so that then needs to be thought about when you're creating your campaigns around the locations of your campaigns and who is going to see your ads. So you can take little pockets away if you think, okay, this is no good because, this is a particular area that isn't going to function well. So think about that in the settings of your campaigns so that you're going to get better quality leads coming out and your spend is going to be poured into the right bits. So think about that. Also, when you're going through that process of thinking about this, this is then going to feed into your ad copy. you know, what is the difference between what you offer and what your competitors offer down the road? You can feed this into the ad copy. Then when people are searching, you can really make a gap between yourself and your local competitor as best you can. Because when you're called up by prospects, they'll probably say, look, there's one down the road, why should I pick you guys as opposed to this other one down the road? So internally, you'll have thought about this, but it's then putting it into your marketing, putting it into the ad copy. So location is another key factor to be able to get you more sales leads and inquiries from your Google Ads. Now, the structure. So when we're looking at accounts, what we're seeing is time and time again, people are having lots and lots of keywords, many keywords in a campaign. Now, that used to work quite well in, say, 2020. We're now 2024. And actually, what we need is fewer keywords. And then using the algorithms, you can then change up some of the ad copy to be able to get effective outcomes. But if you have too many keywords, what you're actually doing is just kind of diluting things down. So it's limited keywords now that create the better outcomes. And these are the three key areas of which we have campaigns for our clients. Firstly is around brand. So there's lots of opinions on this one. But with brand, what I mean there is you can bid on your own brand keyword. Now, what this does is it actually really helps your campaigns and your overall performance of your account, because when you're bidding on your own brand keyword, Google goes, okay, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's really relevant because it's all over your website. So that's the first thing, is you're going to get some more of Google's juice. You're going to be more of its friend. Now, the other thing is that you're protecting your brand. So when somebody's searching for you, you're right at the top, as opposed to your competitors who can bid on your brand word, unless you've got it trademarked. They can bid on your brand word. But we need to be right at the top. So you could be right at the top of the ads, right in the maps, then in the organics as well. So it's a case of protecting your brand and being right up the top and center when somebody's searching. Also, the cost per click on your brand keyword is very low. So only a small proportion of your ad spend, sort of 5 to 10% of your spend, would probably be on brand. That's the first one. The other campaign structure is to have a local campaign, thinking very much around the locations that I spoke about earlier, how you can create a campaign and the settings around sort of, you know, focusing on the areas that are going to get you the best outcomes. And then lastly, weirdly, it is a national campaign. So it may be that somebody in Leeds is looking because they've got a house in Brighton, but unless you're showing the whole of the UK and able to capture this person up in Leeds, you're not going to get them seeing your ads. So it's really targeted on the keyword. So they need to have typed in the location plus the keyword as well, like storage near me, etc. So it's got to be very targeted, exact match. But it gives you that opportunity to have leads that are looking outside of the area into where you're based. So the outcome of this whole thing about a structure is that you're going to get more relevant, higher quality inquiries through into the business. So to give you an example on this, again, we worked with a couple of companies here, so the Hive and Unit Group, where we were able to improve their structure, and as an outcome, they were able to get a much higher conversion rate of the leads that were coming through, so they got more inquiries and were able to convert a lot more of those into sales. So it's much better outcome by having this more refined structure that allows you to get better outcomes for the business because they're far more focused. So double your budget for free. I absolutely love this one. So this one is about looking at the data in your Google Ads account and going, okay, where is the ad spend on the ones that are creating the more amount of inquiries? Let's double down on those. Let's spend more money or focus our money onto the ads that are creating the outcomes that we want, and less on the stuff that isn't. You know, so what you can do is you can look at, say, the last 6 months of data and go, okay, so we spent all this money. These are the ones that aren't creating the phone to ring or to fill out a form. So we would be able to spend that money and reallocate it on the other performing that is getting you the best leads. So it's just sort of massaging that into the better outcomes. And to give you an example, the lovely Edward Howard, so we worked on his account to be able to create this change in the campaigns to be able to get him much better outcomes and deviate that spend across. Number 8, this is about right impression share. Now, it sounds a bit techie, but basically there's a column in your Google Ads account that allows you to look at the search impression share, which is the percentage of time that people can see your ads based on what you've got in the account. And what we're typically finding is people have got impression share of, say, 20%. So that means that 80% of the time, people aren't seeing your ads. So that's a massive missed opportunity for the business. So it's looking at some of these things and thinking, okay, how can we use this data to get some better outcomes? To give you an example here, we looked at an account that had really low search impression share of 14%. We did a number of different things. So it's structure, it was keywords, it was the ad copy, various things. And as an outcome, you know, they're getting many, many more inquiries as a result because we're focusing the time and the effort on the parts of the campaigns that are working to get them better outcomes. Number 9, tracking. This is fundamental. This is absolutely critical for your account to get this right. And again, when we're looking at accounts, big spenders, little spenders, and everything in between, 90% of the time, this is, they've got tracking problems. And it's like trying to drive something blind. You know, you just can't see where you're going, you don't know what's working. Everything that I've talked about up until this point, you can't really see properly. So sometimes you'd look at an account and think, yeah, this is getting loads of leads. Well, no, because you're tracking somebody that's clicking on something rather than becoming an inquiry. So these are the sorts of things that you want to track: inbound phone calls, people filling out the form. What is on the sales process that you want somebody to do when they come to your website? And these are the 4 key things that you need to be tracking. To give you an example, this is a dashboard that we provide our clients so that they can see exactly, you know, how much have I spent, how many inquiries have I got, is it all going in the right directions? And it's really clear, very transparent, and you can see that the where things are, are going and heading. And the other thing we provide is call tracking, so that people can actually listen into the phone calls that have been generated to your business. Just purely from Google Ads. We use some AI as well, where we can analyze the script of that inbound inquiry. So hugely valuable to understand how many inquiries have turned into sales. People can get into a huddle and do some phone handling training, etc. So this visibility is hugely valuable. And to give you an example of a client where the tracking was just on those clicks, it wasn't actually a proper inquiry. So we then fixed the tracking, and we were able to then increase the number of leads coming through because we had proper valid data to be able to work with and be able to sort of massage those different parts of the campaigns. Now, the last thing really is about just keep up. It is changing so fast. There's so many new things coming out. This is just an example of the changes that happened in February. You know, whoever it is that you're working with, make sure that they're on top of all of these different changes that are coming up, because it's gathering speed and it's getting faster and faster, all these different changes. So key takeaways, there's a number of different things that I've covered, and here's a list of some of the things for you to consider. But this is all strategically placed to help and guide you on ways that you can get more sales leads and inquiries for your business. So we're out on stand number 24. If you'd like to come and see us, come have a chat with us. We're a pretty friendly bunch. Megan and myself are over there. And also, I'd like to extend the gift that I gave you there of a free review. If you'd like me to do a review for your account based on the things that I've talked about today, but there's many other things that we look at as well, by all means get in contact and be very, very happy to help. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Stay with us. I know that there are quite a few questions that have been come in. So you're happy to
Okay.
take some
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, go for it.
Fantastic. Look, at the top of the question is how important are Google reviews and do they impact search results?
On paid search, yes, absolutely. It really, really helps. So keeping Google happy is one of the things that you need to kind of put in your tick box. So getting reviews helps you to get a better visibility because Google sees that as a criteria. So the more reviews you can get, the better it will impact and the better outcomes you'll have on your Google Ads. So you can link it with your Google business profile, your Google Ads account, so it will see those reviews, and if you've got quite a few, it will start to show in the stars in your ads too. So yes, definitely do that.
Okay, that's a very clear answer there. Another quick one. What is the Google Ads cost per sale that we can consider as a good result?
Cost per sale is completely up to you as to how well you convert that customer and that inquiry into a sale. So I would say probably about 20% is sort of an average of converting from inquiry through to sale. In terms of the cost per lead, which is something I can be more specific on, is without being slopey shoulders though, it depends on your location, it depends on the competitive nature of how many advertisers there are in your area, but anything from say £20, well no, maybe £15 an inquiry up to say £25, £30 an inquiry. But it does depend on the location, depends on how good your website is for converting that visitor into an inquiry. So there's lots of moving parts, but that gives you a bit of a gauge on the cost per lead.
Okay, and we'll take one final question, which is, do you know the average marketing spend as a percentage of sales for a storage business if using an external provider?
Well, you'd want to spend as much on your marketing to generate as many customers as possible, but I would say probably maybe in the region of up to about 10% of turnover into marketing activities.
Well, there you have it. There were loads more questions, but we've got to squeeze and keep in time. But you're going to be on your stand, so if people have questions, they can come and find you, right?
Yep.
You're happy to answer questions?
Absolutely, of course, always.
Give one big round of applause to Laura Moxham. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura. Thanks a lot.